Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great day. So this is a clip from a previously recorded video. This is a much shorter clip of it. But as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. And I'm invested in closing companies. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's get into the clip. Riot here. So Riot announces May 2023 production update and operation updates. Riot actually performed, they did a lot of curtailment. I'll just start it off with that. And I'll explain why. So Bitcoin produced for the month of May was 676. Average Bitcoin produced per day was 21.8. Bitcoin held in the HODL is 7,190, and they sold 600 Bitcoin in May as well. So this is a quote from Jason Less. In addition, Riot also benefited from participating in ERCOT's demand response program, generating 2.4 million in revenue as a result of our unique power strategy. That would equate to what? If we take 2,400,000. Divide that by Bitcoin price was about 26,750 roughly. It gets about another extra 89 Bitcoins for that. But it still would be way under from anything else that we've seen here so far from the miners. Okay, mining deployment update. Right end of the month of May with approximately 800 miners staged for deployment. Upon deployment of the staged miners, the company expects to have a total of 94,976 miners deployed with a hash rate capacity of approximately 10.6 exahash, which excludes 17,040 miners currently offline in Building G. They still haven't gotten the doggone thing repaired there, that building, which is, we're going now into 6 months after that has happened. That, I don't know what's going on there. That's just taken way too long in my opinion. That's a lot of money that's being idle there that's not operating as it should. Estimated hash rate growth due to the ongoing impact of damages incurred to buildings F and G during the severe winter storms in Texas in December 2022. Right now anticipates achieving a total self-mining hash rate capacity of 12.5 exahash in the second half of 2023. Okay, so that's obviously being pushed out. They were supposed to get there by the end of the first half, but because of that, I just don't know what are they waiting on, what parts do they need that's taking them so long to get, or if there's other issues there as well. Okay. So that's it for that one. Let's take a look at the numbers we do have here for Riot as well. Riot currently has 175 million shares outstanding. Stock price is at $10.68. Market cap 1.86 billion right now. They are the most valued one that we cover here currently. Current hash rate 10.5. They're going to get about to 10.6 with the additional miners that they're going to install here shortly, possibly. They have about another 19% worth of installation growth left, percentage-wise. And then as far as their performance here for the last week, they were up 7.23% last week. From 4 weeks ago, they're up 10.4. However, from 8 weeks, they're down 13.1%. And from 12 weeks, they're up 44.6%. So if you bought back then, you're doing really good. Now, you can see here their BTC production here for the last basically 12, 13 months. Their best month was in January, where they had 740 Bitcoins. They went down to 675, then to 695, then back down to 639. Now only 676. So they only increased that by 37 Bitcoins in May, where a lot of the miners are getting a lot more because of the network transaction fees. Okay, so they definitely curtailed a lot. You can see the monthly difference as far as Bitcoin, how much they generated from month to month. Bitcoin's BTC per exahash efficiency, still relatively low, 64.38. They're low because they do curtail quite a bit. So that's always going to drag them down a little bit. BTC HODL has been growing here nicely ever since last year. It just continues to grow up and up and up, which is good to see. Bitcoin sold, they have been selling kind of right around this 700, 600 mark here for the last couple months, it looks like, to fund operations, possibly a little bit of growth. And then you can see here that their hash rate has pretty much stayed at 10.5 exahash for the last 3 months or so. They've kind of flatlined here as well, a little bit here from December, and they've flatlined here ever since March. Their revenue generation from Bitcoin, as you can see, has been increasing as well. They're up to 18.59 million now for May. They were at 18.44. So that's why I'm saying if they mined at least the same amount of time that they mined in April as they would have in May, they would have generated a heck of a lot more, at least 12% more on top of that from the transaction fees. Hash rate difference, you can see that as well. BTC sold, how much they've sold here. They sold 16.44 million roughly. Then you can look at the other metrics here as well. We've talked about those in the past. We usually cover those in the quarterly results. And then as far as institutions did grow quite nicely here for them to 333 institutions with 74 million shares. That's up from 64 million shares. So that's 10 million shares more were bought by institutions. And that's now 41.63% owned by institutions. They still have 3 strong buy ratings. Buy ratings actually went down to 6 from 7 here. They still have 1 hold rating of 1. And then the price target actually came down here to $16 from $17, and the average went actually up here to $11.78 from $11.44, and the low actually is still at $6 here for that one. Okay, now when we look at the actual data here that we have on the miners, which ones we're running, and getting to the 18.589 million, which is based on the average Bitcoin price for May times the Bitcoins mined, we can see here that in May, if we go over here, they were actually running for 27.6 days. So even with the additional of the transaction fees being added to this, they were still under the 31 days in the month, which leads me to believe they did quite a bit of curtailment in the month of May. As you can see here, I did not have to add anything for additional transaction fees for them. They were still under the 31 days, which leads me to believe that they were probably only operating somewhere, I'm guessing, around 22, maybe 23 days for normal, because this includes the transaction fees added into it as well, and they still came in at 27 days. So they definitely have to do that curtailment. I don't know if they're legally binded to do that through ERCOT or not, but they definitely partake in it, and they did get 2.some million for it, for the troubles on that. I don't know if it would, what I'm trying to say is I don't know if it would calculate over to how much they could have mined more had they mined for the full 31 days and then gotten the actual Bitcoin from the transaction fees, okay? So that's it for that. Let's take a look at as far as where I have them at right now. Right now I have them at last 3 quarters is at 100 million. Current quarter that we're in is going to be about 55 million, it looks like, based on the numbers that we have here at 55. If they still stay around the 18.7 million here in June, that would get us to 55.78 million in revenue for self-mining. And total would be 156 million, 50% net income, PE of 20. We're looking at $8.95. They're currently at $10.68. And then at 75% net income, they're at $13.42. I think they're kind of fairly valued right now based on this. They're kind of in between these two numbers, maybe a little bit overvalued as well. But we're going by the PE of 75. If Bitcoin starts going back up higher, they could definitely catch a lot more for their stock price. We've seen that before in the past. I'm sure we'll see it again when Bitcoin actually starts to rally, possibly into next year and then after the halving event. Okay, so overall, still not pleased that they haven't finished the repairs at building F or building G, whatever it was, or H. It's been 6 months. Can't imagine what is taking so long to get those things repaired, or that facility repaired. The other thing is obviously the curtailment is quite a bit as well. It's the most that I've seen here out of the miners so far for May, which is surprising because a lot of the miners are also in Texas and they haven't curtailed as much. Marathon didn't curtail that much either. They were actually doing really good, but they looks like curtailing quite a bit here in June so far right now. Mara's. I'll have to take a look at the numbers that I for their wallet to see where things stack up, but it looks like they are curtailing quite a bit. Other than that, they just got to grow, fix the facility, and then also like to see, I haven't heard anything as far as the immersion cooling, what that entails as far as efficiency gains or nothing like that. We haven't heard anything from them on that. So that would be nice to also hear on that one, what that is in producing for them. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's take a look at the next one, but always let me know what you guys think about Riot here in the comments down below. We'll chat there.